What up, what up? Stace OG, back with another topic, back with another video. My goodness. So the title of this video is going to be, I'm pretty sure you guys already seen it, but mass layoffs on April Fools. This got to be some type of joke, yo, for real. I ain't going to front. Like, it's crazy. Man, so, admin notes. Thanks again to all the subscribers that have subscribed to my channel. I endeavor to keep pushing these videos out to give you leverage, to give you leverage to better yourselves. We need leverage, man. We need leverage. We all need leverage. We all need somebody to bounce ideas off of. We all need help. We all need mentorship. We all need all these things right now because this is absolutely insane. This is crazy. Yo. Anyway, let's get into it, man. So, mass layoffs on April Fools. So, the Department of Health and Human Services, I'm assuming, got a notice yesterday that they were laid off. At least a lot of them folks were laid off, right, from that agency. 10,000 people from the reports that I read. And they did these folks dirty, yo, for real. Like, I saw a newscast today where some of these folks came to work early because, this is in D.C. Most of the department headquarters are actually in D.C., even though they have offices around the United States as a whole. But a lot of their headquarters are actually located in D.C. And crazy enough, when I worked in D.C. with my job that I technically still have now, I would walk past these buildings like GSA, Department of Treasury. I would walk past these things all the time during lunchtime to take my daily walk. But in any case, if anybody works in DC, you guys understand that a lot of government workers will come to work very early to beat traffic, sometimes 4 in the morning, right? So some of these folks apparently actually try to come into this building early yesterday morning, maybe like 4ish, 5 o'clock-ish, something like that in the morning, and their card didn't work. Like it's no different than like a fob key you use to like swipe on a scanner to get into a building. They used these cards to try to get into the building and it didn't work. And just imagine trying to go to an office building you worked in for probably over a decade and your card doesn't work. First thing you're thinking is, I did something wrong, or somebody did something to the company, like something's going on and it's absolutely crazy. They couldn't find out you got laid off, furlough, whatever the case may be. I'm not exactly sure how they actually implemented this, but to come to work and not have your card work because another entity laid you off and they didn't tell you in advance, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That's, man, they're playing a dangerous game here, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, they're playing a dangerous game. They really are. I understand the fraud, waste, and abuse that the Trump administration is trying to seek out and eliminate. I totally get that, because at the end of the day, I'm a person that's very objective when it comes to a lot of things, and I know there's two sides to every coin. So even though the optics looks like they did these people really wrong, and I'm pretty sure this thing could have been done a lot better, but at the same time, it's their perspective on things and how the government is being ran, and then it's the person that's the employer and the employee's perspective as far as like, these folks need jobs, these folks need money to take care of themselves. How do you expect these folks to take care of their families and themselves without having a job? And you're not even giving them enough notice to get another job. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these layoffs of like literally they tap people on their shoulder and like, hey, yo, you gotta go. Like it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's almost unbelievable. It really is. You know what I'm saying? You know what? For real, I ain't gonna front. I think that within a decade, somebody's gonna make a movie about this, yo. What? Mark my words, yo. Mark my words. I'm telling you, somebody's gonna make a movie about this. Just like folks made a movie about, other tragedies that happened in America. I can almost bet money that somebody's gonna make a movie about this. Somebody's gonna be a main character walking into a building, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, damn, I just got fired because I got laid off. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even know about it. I ain't had no chance to put in 2 week notice, none of that. You know what I'm saying? They just said, hey, yo, screw you. You ain't got no job anymore. It's absolutely crazy. Now, another thing that we have to take and put in perspective and in context is another statistic that I read a while ago, and I believe it to be true. Because I work in DC. You know, even though the optics and what we see on the internet and the social media shows that it seems like all of America is being fired, right? Because of the federal government workers being fired and being laid off and all these other things. When it comes to actually DC in particular, a statistic says that only 9% of the workforce in DC are federal workers. Only 9%. So that means 89% of the workforce in DC are not federal workers. They do not work for the government in any capacity at all. So the optics look like it's like all of DC is about to be fired, but that's not really the case. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks still have their jobs and have no threat of having their job being lost or being furloughed or laid off, right? But what I will say is, you know, being a soldier, being in the military for 20 years and working for the government afterwards, right, as a contractor, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of their revenue in DC comes from federal workers, folks that work for the government. So even though they only make up 9% of the population of DC as far as workers is concerned, I can almost take a pretty good guess that about 50% of the revenue in DC comes from federal workers because their pay is so high, right? They get paid a lot. Versus you got, you know, the other folks that work in DC that may not have a job that pays as much as a federal worker salary is, right? So, you know, it, like I said, man, it's crazy, unbelievable, man. And I'm telling you, this right here is going to really, 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 really push people towards entrepreneurship. I think a lot of folks are not going to go back into the federal government, which I think is one of the ideas that Doge has, because they want a very small government. I think a lot of folks are probably going to take early retirement if they're eligible. And unfortunately, a lot of folks are going to be in a really, really, really bad financial situation, because a lot of folks, when they have jobs that pay a lot, their cost of living and their way of living, right, goes up along with their job, right? They don't like only use 20% of their income to live. They use sometimes 90% of their income to live, sometimes 100%. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks that work in the federal government, unfortunately, cannot afford to miss one paycheck, because they're living literally paycheck to paycheck. Their account goes literally down to zero, and then they have to wait maybe a couple of days for the next paycheck to hit, and then they got to pay bills and support their way of living, right? So, you know, for these folks to lose their job like this is absolutely crazy. It's insane. And it happened on April Fools. Yo, it's almost like the government is trolling, yo. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they trolling, because it's like, I'm pretty sure that these folks swiped their car on that scanner trying to get in the building, and it was like this got to be April Fool's joke, yo. This can't be real. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, it was. 10,000 people. Now, I'm not exactly sure all 10,000 folks work in DC for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, but I'm pretty sure a good amount does. And it's a trickle effect. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if anybody doesn't know, that particular agency handles SNAP, EBT, cash assistance. I'm pretty sure Section 8 is done by that. I mean, yo, it's a lot of programs that happens for folks that under poverty level that comes from that agency. And to lose that many folks, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's been some statements put out there by Doge that says that, you know, these folks that are being let go and terminated, they're not affecting the efficiency of the actual of the work in those agencies. But when you lose that many people, man, like it's like, are you trying to tell us that those agencies got so inflated that those 10,000 literally didn't have a significant impact on their agency? I do understand that the government has been inflated. I do understand that. But 10,000, yo, where did it come with this number? Like, what kind of analytics that they've used to come up with a number of 10,000? Because I'm not exactly sure how big the U.S. Health Department and Human Services is. I don't know how big it is. You know what I'm saying? But for them to come up with that number is insane. 10,000? My company, they got furloughed, we barely got 400 people. So, man, it's crazy, yo. It's man. I feel so sorry for them folks, yo. I really do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you can't let somebody go like that, you know what I'm saying, and masses, and not understand that there's some serious consequence that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? And this is not for me to, you know, to foreshadow anything that's coming. I'm just saying that when you mess with folks' money, it's not a good look, yo. It really isn't. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a better way to do this, yo. It's got to be a better way. It's got to be. It's got to be. It's almost like, you know what I'm saying, things are being done to a certain degree, like, you know, things get caught up in court litigation, as far as, like, you know, the agency sues the Trump administration, then they go back to the court and say this and say that, and then all of a sudden we got months and months and months of these things being tied up in court. Meanwhile, folks can't find a freaking job. Folks can't pay for their cost of living. Folks can't pay to take care of their families. You know what I'm saying? So it's a really crazy situation. My thought process is that, you know, like I said, I'm gonna scale my business. I'm gonna scale my YouTube. Actually, shout out to Khalil. He actually hit me up with this one young lady that actually helps folks grow their YouTube channel. Yo, Khalil, yo, that's real, man. That's real. So anyway, drop the comment section below. Let me know what y'all think. It's a really crazy situation. I really feel bad for these folks, man. I really do. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things that you really have to put things in perspective. You really have to, like, understand that a job is not safe, regardless of whether it's a regular job, a government job. You know what I'm saying? A job is not safe, man. It really is. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that people need to take away from this is that you need to find some kind of way to make your own money. I said it again. You need to find your own way to make your own money. Without a conventional job. You know what I'm saying? Like, find a skill set, use a skill set you already have, and make money for yourself. Because I'm telling you, having a job right now, and another thing too, you know what I'm saying, some of these jobs that actually got eliminated, AI is going to take over it. So these folks can't even get back into these jobs that they got furloughed or terminated or fired from. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. When we discuss the topic or subject that benefits your channel, email me at asog757@gmail.com. My email address. Description below. Say so G signing out. I'm gone.